Has your life been torn apart because you or your partner has had an affair? In this video, you're going to get an understanding of what happens in the aftermath of an affair and the 3 biggest mistakes couples make in trying to deal with it. Hi, it's Gabrielle, and for over a dozen years, I've been a licensed professional counselor in private practice in Boulder, Colorado, and my practice is grounded in the science of what makes relationships work. I'm going to give you some important tools and headline news about affair recovery so you can avoid the mistakes that could have horrible consequences for your life down the road. Let's start with a definition. What is an affair? An affair is an emotional and/or physical relationship between someone who's in a committed intimate relationship and someone else who's not their partner. The relationship involves secrecy and lies between the involved partner and their spouse. The term affair encompasses not just sexual and physical relationships, but also emotional ones. When an affair is revealed, spouses often disagree about whether or not the relationship in question even constitutes an affair. So here are some guidelines to help you identify whether you or your partner's extramarital relationship is an affair or not. Shirley Glass, the author of Not Just Friends, uses the analogy of walls and windows to help couples identify whether one of them has entered into the danger zone with someone outside the marriage. The basic idea is that you want to have emotional windows open with your committed intimate partner. These windows allow for the free exchange of thoughts and feelings between the two of you, a condition which builds emotional intimacy. With anyone outside the relationship, however, it's important that you and your partner put up walls that protect you from opportunities that could lead to emotional or even sexual intimacy with others. So here are 5 red flags that indicate that you or your partner is having an affair or going down the slippery slope toward one. If you or your partner are engaging in any of the following activities or feelings about a third party, it's a red flag. Number 1, you would not feel comfortable if your partner saw you and the third party interacting when the two of you are alone. Number 2, you touch the third party differently when you're alone with them than when you're in public with them. Number 3, you go out of your way to hide aspects of your interaction with the third party, such as your rendezvous, deleting text exchanges, omitting information, or actively lying to your partner about thoughts and behavior related to your third party. Number 4, you have feelings of romantic love or extreme affection for the third party. And number 5, you confide more in the third party than you do in your partner. And you share details about your dissatisfaction with your primary relationship that you do not share with your spouse. Now, what many people don't know is that most people who have affairs never intended to do so. Most people who are having affairs didn't wake up one morning and say to themselves, I've decided to have an affair, and then go get on Ashley Madison and look for one. Many people believe that they are not susceptible to having an affair. I love my wife. I have no reason to look elsewhere, a spouse might say. Or I love my husband. Even though we disagree sometimes, I would never be unfaithful. These statements are examples of what Glass calls the prevention myth, that love and dedication are enough to protect you from having an affair. But nothing could be further from the truth. The fact is that for better or worse, and no matter what our morals, religious beliefs, or personal convictions, we're all creatures of opportunity. We're living, breathing beings who often meet other living, breathing beings who are intelligent, gorgeous, witty, and attractive. And part of being human is experiencing feelings of attraction for other human beings. It's just normal and natural. Affairs are a crisis of opportunity. As I said, most affairs don't start out with 2 people intending to have an illicit relationship. They begin as a simple interaction at work, at a party, a cup of coffee, or working together on a big professional project. People generally slide into affairs with no intention of becoming romantically involved with one another. And before you know it, you've crossed the line into secrecy and lying to your committed partner. The bottom line is that it's all too easy to have an affair. For this reason, couples who value the safety, security, and sanctity of their marriage or long-term committed intimate relationship guard their relationship with each other jealously. They don't open themselves up to opportunities for affairs to take root. They view the outside world and other people as a threat to their relationship, which they are. In fact, studies show that couples who are dedicated to each other don't even entertain the fantasy of having an affair partner or a different relationship. Even when times get tough in their relationship, they stay focused on each other and keep strong boundaries between themselves and others. Now that you see how easy it is to fall into having an affair, what do you do if you find yourself in a situation where you or your partner has crossed the line? The process of recovering from an affair is lengthy and involves multiple stages. Before you even think about long-term relationship repair, let's talk about the affair recovery mindset. A lot of betrayed partners make the mistake of jumping to the question, how do we fix our relationship? This can be a real mistake. There are some serious questions that you should be asking yourself before you decide whether to stay or go. When one partner has had an affair, it makes perfect sense for the couple to end their relationship. That's because the trust has been broken and the victim of the affair has no reason to trust the offending partner ever again. However, if both partners wish to work on their relationship and see if they can heal it, it's important that both of them accept their respective jobs in the healing process. That being said, here are the top 3 mistakes couples make when dealing with an affair. Mistake number 1. The offending partner does not accept that they've made a very serious mistake. So long as the involved partner does not realize how badly they've behaved and is not willing to do anything it takes to make it right, you have no possibility of rebuilding your relationship. But if the offending partner is willing to accept this, truly understands that they've made a grave mistake, and they validate the betrayed partner's feelings of rage and grief, this is the starting point for being able to work on things. Mistake number 2. The betrayed partner is unwilling to claim their power in the healing process. This is a major stumbling block for affair recovery. A lot of betrayed partners do not realize how important it is that they claim their power, take their seat in the affair recovery process. The betrayed partner will need to accept that for a significant period of time, they will have all of the power in the relationship in order to get the repair they need. This means they get to express their full range of emotions to the offending partner. They get to have all their questions answered and insist that the offending partner make all of the gestures of love and support they need to begin to reestablish a sense of connection that's been ruptured. But here's where it gets difficult. Some betrayed partners have a hard time accepting that it's appropriate for them to have all of the power in this situation. They believe that in relationships, partners should always have equal power, even when one has betrayed the other. This is a misunderstanding about how adult intimate relationships actually work. These betrayed partners tend to be the ones who believe in unconditional love in relationships and turning the other cheek when they've been grievously wounded by their partner. But here's the thing. Adult intimate relationships are not meant to be based on unconditional love. Unconditional love is for small children. Both partners in an adult intimate relationship need to be able to stand up for themselves, stand up for their principles, and end the relationship if they're being mistreated and their partner is unwilling or unable to repair. Mistake number 3, asking questions that focus on what was wrong with the betrayed partner or your marriage. Many partners make the mistake of starting the process of recovering from infidelity by trying to understand the underlying conditions in the couple's relationship that the offender claims led them to be unfaithful in the first place. And it's important to note that the betrayed partner may believe this too. These questions are something along the lines of, what was wrong with us that made you go outside the marriage? How was I, the betrayed partner, not meeting your needs in this marriage? What did I, the victim of the affair, do wrong? But it's a mistake to start with these types of questions. Why? Because they blame the victim for their partner's affair. They basically imply that the reason the offender had the affair in the first place was because of some shortcoming in the victim or the relationship. Although the underlying culture of the primary relationship should be examined further down the line in the recovery process, the process of affair recovery should begin with the offender taking full responsibility for their actions. It's just all too easy for an offender to blame their marriage or their partner for what they did. No matter how bad the couple's relationship might have been before the infidelity, when one partner decides to betray the other, it brings the couple's problems up to a whole new level. The offender could have always made other choices besides being unfaithful if they were unhappy with the relationship, such as insisting that the couple go to therapy or suggesting they get divorced if things don't change. Ultimately, the victim needs to ask the offender why they chose to have an affair, and the offender needs to be able to answer in a non-defensive way that does not blame the victim or the relationship at all. The offender needs to look inside themselves and understand their tendency to evade problems in the relationship, to make self-centered decisions, and whatever else they haven't admitted to that led to this problem without blaming the victim. Now, if you've been traumatized by infidelity, it's important that you and your partner get all of the education you can about this trauma. Please watch my other videos on the affairs playlist, and you'll probably need to seek professional help from a licensed counselor who is trained specifically in working with infidelity. Surprisingly, many therapists have no training whatsoever in this very common couples issue. So make sure you do your research and understand your couples therapist's approach before signing on for treatment. Now let's hear from you. Have you been traumatized by infidelity? If so, were you able to heal your relationship? Or did you decide it was time to leave it? Leave me your comments below. I look forward to reading them and seeing you in the next video. If you liked what you learned in this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel right now. Please give this video a like and share it. And please go to thepowercoupleformula.com for lots more information about how to build an amazing relationship, and powercoupleseducation.com to stay connected.